It's Chris from Chasing Midnight, and I'm just going to edit or show you guys the editing process of uh, this photo set from Sabas Lexus LS430. So I edited the photos off the stream. I'm just gonna like edit a few photos, maybe a couple, for you guys to see on how I edit them. So this is what I came up with. Um, so I'm actually looking for the dark, moody vibe on this photo set, and this is what I got. So we went from this to this. So pretty much what I did. Okay, so let's go with the settings. Um, I did actually turn up the brightness a little bit. Okay, and also I put a lot of contrast. There, maybe I can put like a little bit more if I want, but this looks good already. Highlights, turn it down a little bit. That's like one of the recipes to create a moody photo. You turn down the highlights, and you see like how moody it is. The more you turn down the highlights, the more the the better. Like I guess like darker it is. So I can actually just turn down the highlights a little bit more, make it a little bit more moodier. I want to load. Alright, there you go. Yep, looks good. Shadows, I bump up the shadows pretty significant because you want the details on the car. So it's too dark, and that's what I did. Whites, I put 28 plus 28 on the white just because you still want to preserve the highlights, all the whites on the picture. The blacks also I bumped it up a little bit. I play a little bit on texture, it's plus 10. Dehaze, it works just like contrast, but you can't really put a lot of dehaze because there's like a lot of contrast if you put dehaze a little bit more. And also, if you want to create a moody photo, you have to desaturate the saturation. So I turn it down to minus 25 and I put plus 4 on vibrance. And the curve, I did actually put a bit of, like a lot of fade effect right here on the back point. And normally on the midpoint, I would just like play around in the center area and as well as the highlights over here. And from there, you can actually just play along with the HSL sliders. And these are my settings. Normally green and aqua, I would just like desaturate them completely because aqua, it reflects the windshield, and green, of course, you don't want any green. It looks nasty. It's green. Well, except if you have trees, then you have to keep the greens. But in this case, we are in the city environment, so we don't need any greens. And I also turn down or desaturate the blue a little bit more, so to make it not look like too bluish. I don't know, but it all depends on your style, editing style, or like what kind of look that you want to achieve in the photo. And I did put split toning as well. I put a little bit on the warmer side on the highlights, and I put kind of like a bluish tint on the shadows. So they are really like the opposite. But if you play with the balance, you can actually just gonna like make the photo look certain way. So if I want it to be a little bit colder, I can just slide the balance a little to the left, and you want to make it warmer, slide it to the right. So I met in the somewhere around 26, and this is like the look that I was looking. Also for sharpening, normally like Lightroom, they by default it's set at 40, so I don't want a lot of sharpening, just because it's not gonna look good if you put like a lot of sharpening. It's just I don't know, it's too sharp. Also, the masking, normally I would set it around like 90, 80, 90. So it sharpens only like the edges of the car, not the whole photo. Also, noise reduction. Normally I would just like put the color all the way to 100, and then from there I would just play with the luminance. I would never go more than 50, because if you go more than 50, it's not gonna look good anymore. So, I mean, of course, like if you're shooting it the day like this, you don't have a lot of noise. So I don't use a lot of. I just set it at around 21, and it looks good. And remove chromatic aberration. Of course, you're gonna have to check that, and enable profile corrections for the corresponding lens that you're using to shoot the photo. And yep, pretty much that's it. So once again, we went from this to this. All right, so one other trick, or actually I still have like a few more tricks or tips I can show it to you guys. So pretty much what I did was I used the graduated filter, and I darkened the top and the bottom portion of the photo, as you guys can see. So I would normally just like stop at around that half portion of the car and just turn down the exposure a little bit, darken the road. You see like it was before and this is after. So that way everything will focus on the car a little bit more. And same thing with the top portion. Normally I would just turn down the highlights, not the exposure. Depends. If it's like too much exposure or too much brightness on the top portion of the photo, I would just turn down the exposure. So like you can play around with the exposure, highlights, even shadows, whites and blacks. And I don't really normally do like texture and all that. So, but this is without the filter. This is after the filter. So you guys can see like the cars like a little bit, I guess you can say, exposed on the photo. So, and then one more thing is I use the radial filter, which I put on the center of the car. So this time we actually brighten the car a little bit more, and these are my settings. Normally I would just play around with the exposure and shadows, and of course if you play around with the exposure and shadows, the car wouldn't look good, or the subject wouldn't look natural, I'm guessing. So you have to put contrast and sharpness. I just put 20, 21, just to make the car, like a little bit more detail, I guess. And yeah, so let's copy these settings, and I actually already have saved it on my preset pack number 5 over there. It's called Kyoto. I don't know why I came up with that name, but let's edit another photo. Hey, I think that one looks good. Okay, so, or maybe this one. Yep, this one. Okay, so let's edit this one. And first step, when you're editing photo, you're gonna have to reframe everything. I would use 4x5 format, just because these photos are going to Instagram. If you guys want to know his Instagram, Sabas' Instagram is King Evo. It's the same guy who has this 600 plus wheel horsepower Evo. I'm pretty sure you guys know. I will actually put his Instagram on the description below, so you guys can follow him. His like crazy builds and all that. So, anyways, we are going to edit the photo, this photo, and let's see. I'm gonna put the wheel. Let's see. Let's try to put the wheel right on the center. Let's see if it looks good. Yep, it looks good. Okay. Now, just gonna have to like align everything. All right. I think that's all aligned, and we're gonna paste the settings on our preset right here. Yodo. Oh, I wish this thing is like, oh, yeah, I wish this thing is, no, you know what? I can actually do something with this. Okay, so looks pretty moody, looks pretty good. It looks a little bit flat. So, two ways what you can do if you don't want it too flat like this is you take down the fade a little bit. See, like by you're taking down the fade a little bit, that means you are you're putting a little bit more contrast. But yeah, I think I'm gonna turn it down to 28, and we're gonna add a little bit more of contrast, maybe 45. Okay, now the photo is pretty dark, and you know, I'm gonna actually do something with this logo right here. I'm gonna move this logo to here. So let's transfer to Photoshop. I know it's gonna take a while. Oh, actually, never mind. Took me pretty fast. All right, so let's see what I can do with this thing. All right. But this portion right there. Okay. And of course you want to Control J. Oh, wait, what happened? Control J. Okay, and move this thing, or you rotate this with this thing. Right. I'm gonna place it accordingly right there, probably. Select the shadows right there, or whatever the highlights. So I'm trying to line them up like right there. Okay, so it looks pretty good already. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the mask and start working my brush. Gonna like blend everything in just like so, and voila, that logo all of a sudden just moved. Magic, I know. All right, so now we're gonna have to like delete this, and so pretty much we're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna take another marquee tool. Is that marquee tool? Rectangular marquee tool, yes. Okay, so I'm gonna take this sample right here. Of course, I'm gonna rotate it. Boom, just like that. Okay, and then Control J and move this thing. Oh shoot. Okay, move this thing over here to cover the logo. There's like other ways to do it, guys. I'm just like, this is like the way that I normally do. Just like it's easier. See, like it's almost perfect. So what I'm gonna do is same thing. Put the mask on, or that thing, that logo right there. Put the mask. I think it's the mask. Yeah, layer mask. There we go. Layer mask function, and then just brush away some of the edges right here just to blend everything in right there. And I think we are done. There we go. Alright, so now that work wheels logo is over there, we are good to go. We're gonna save it by pressing Ctrl S and saving right here. And once it's done, we will go back to Lightroom. There we go. And we are going to, of course, you already know the recipe. We're gonna use the graduated filter, darken the road just a little bit, just a tad. Because if you darken it like too much, it's not gonna look good. It looks bad. You don't want that. So normally I would just like play with the shadows and the black as well. You can play with the texture if you want. There we go. And the top, let's see, hang on. Maybe not. Well, just turn down the highlights a little bit. Maybe not. It looks good already, so I wouldn't worry about it. So last thing, radial filter. You guys already know. We're gonna highlight the wheels just a little bit more because they are 3-piece wheels. Turn up the exposure just a tad. All right, we're gonna play shadows a little bit. What about 30? 30 is good. Okay. So I know there's like a lot of brightness over there, so we're gonna turn it. We're gonna put contrast. So it works. Well, it all works together. Okay, there we go. Then, of course, put the sharpness. I set it at 20. I can put a little bit of texture over here. What's it? 20? Yeah, sure. Why not? Alright, so. What the hell? Is it not? Okay, there we go. I thought it wasn't in focus. Sorry guys, just the one of those like software that you have to wait until everything is rendered. So okay, so everything is in focus. Good. Alright, so that's it guys. I don't want to make this video too long for you guys. Hope you guys can learn something from this video, little live stream or whatever. And if you guys have any comments or questions, shoot me a message on YouTube or on Instagram at exoluna_. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.